Imagine you're an elementary school student walking into the cafeteria and you have a choice between two unappetizing meal options: mystery meat or Cajun fish and brown rice. Gross, I know. But what choice do you have? Eat the nastiness or starve? That's the dilemma our children are faced with on a daily basis. Today I'm going to discuss the cost of school lunch reform, food waste increase since lunch reform, student hunger impacting athletes, the brown bag boycott, and increased lunch prices. Let's begin by looking at school lunch reform. Was there a need for school lunch reform? Yes, there was. In theory, school lunch reform was a good idea, but its execution was a colossal flop. The lunch reform was supposed to help fight childhood obesity, but the USDA's one-size-fits-all approach went terribly wrong, according to Ashley H., a contributor to TeenLink. According to Kyle Olson, a townhall.com columnist, the school lunch overhaul will cost over $3.2 billion. Yeah, that's billion with a B, over 5 years. The Pittsfield Public School expects a program operating loss of more than $100,000 a year due to required equipment upgrades as well as fewer lunches and snacks being sold. Congressman Todd Rokita, a member of the House Education and Workforce Committee, noted during a recent hearing, because the law requires students to take fruits and vegetables even if they have no intention of eating them. Now, schools are dealing with an increased waste. One school district in Florida estimates that students threw out over $75,000 worth of food in a single year. At a high school in Massachusetts, they reported that providing the required vegetables for 1,500 meals a week cost them around $111 a day. However, administrators reported that students just threw the required serving of vegetables in the trash. To add insult to injury, the new regulations have raised the cost of school lunch 20 to 25 cents for even less food. Now that we've discussed some of the costs associated with this plan and the amount of food waste that was generated, now let's look how students are being impacted by the smaller portions and calorie restrictions. The new school lunch program reduced portion sizes and limited the caloric intake for public schools. Children in kindergarten through 6th grade are limited to 650 calories, 7th through 8th, 700 calories, and 8th through 12th grade limited to 850 calories. A kidshealth.org reports that active teens require between 2,000 and 5,000 calories a day to meet energy and growth needs. School lunch policy mandates that teens only receive 750 to 850 calories per lunch. The Milwaukee Sentinel stated that a high school in Wisconsin, football players who burn in excess of 3,000 calories a day led a boycott of the newly federally mandated calorie limit. 75% of the 830 students packed their lunches instead of buying school lunch. The following week, the middle school students in the same district followed suit and staged their own protest. These boycotts ignited the brown bagging it campaign on Twitter, which led to a widespread movement that has students foregoing meals and bringing their own bag lunch. Now that you have a better understanding of the caloric intake restrictions and what caused the brown bag boycott, let's summarize what we discussed today. Today we discussed the cost of school lunch reform, food waste increase, student hunger impacting athletes, the brown bag boycott, and the increased price of lunch. The lunch system was in desperate need of an overhaul. However, I feel that children, if given healthier options, would make better choices. But with these mandated changes, children were hurled into change overnight. Children, like most of us, are naturally opposed to change. Again, the change was required, but the USDA's one-size-fits-all approach was definitely lacking. Hopefully the proposed changes will work and you won't cringe the next time your child brings home a new school lunch menu. Thanks for your time.